Hello, friends. A very warm welcome to this session on Ansarkari and keeping up with the idea and thematic process that we have been doing regularly. Now, let's see very quickly an overview of important themes for both prelims, mains, and certain assignments and questions which I'm giving you. And surely I'm going to check them out whenever we are discussing other subjects. So, neighborhood policy at work. So, India's first neighborhood policy, India's perspective that neighbors are more than friends and you can't change your neighbors. So India is actually working diligently to bring Nepal and Sri Lanka citizens along with us, our own citizens. So this is an example that how in the time of crisis, India's foreign policy, India's strategic initiative, India's way of life, India's culture, and India's magnanimity with respect to giving regard and self-respect to others also is visible. Another example from the PT perspective is the Spade X2 mission. So you have to know what is Spade X2 mission, what is its objective, and in the first Spade X mission, we see 220 kgs satellites were launched into the 470-kilometer circular orbit, and there was a small relative velocity introduced between them. The satellites were allowed to drift apart before being, brought closer. So this idea is that India is the only fourth country after US, Russia, China to demonstrate, the very importantly to demonstrate in space docking capability. कैसे आप space में जोड़ पाते हो, कैसे आप space में पास लेके आते हो. So docking in a circular orbit is much easier than docking in an elliptical orbit. So this is because the trajectory and the velocity of satellite remain constant in a circular orbit, whereas they keep changing in the elliptical orbit. That is why achieving this feat is amazing. So calculations is done from one point will not be relevant for the other point. So that is with the examination also. आप घर में बैठ के कैसे पढ़ते हो, आप क्या 24 घंटे सोचते हो, वो एग्जाम के लिए भी वही है. तो एग्जाम भी आपका सर्कुलर वेलोसिटी यानी सर्कुलर फैशन से नहीं हो सकता, वो इलिप्टिकल में हो सकता है. इलिप्टिकल दैट इज व्हाट कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. सो चंद्रयान 4 मिशन है या मल्टीपल मॉड्यूल्स है, उनके विषय में आप देख सकते हैं. सो for moon mission, ISRO typically launches spacecraft into an elliptical Earth orbit, gradually raising the apogee यानी farthest point, और उसके बाद engine burns at a perigee, that is the closest point. तो ये बहुत ही बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं जिसको हमने साइंस सीरीज में भी कवर किया है, और इसके लिए प्रैक्टिस चाहिए, इसके लिए एक तरीके का माइंडसेट चाहिए. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी कैन से. आप इसको की नोट्स में नोट कर सकते हैं. Yoga gives direction to peace and oneness. That is very true. Yoga is an amazing mental, physical, spiritual, cultural, and a way of life. That's what I would say. I hope and I appreciate those students and aspirants of mine, those who follow yoga practices as we discussed critically all the times. 11 years database critique. तो ये एक अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है कि कैसे जो जैसे एवरेज मंथली पर कैपिटा कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर जो है वो क्या हुआ है पिछले 11 सालों में फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ एन अपोजिशन लीडर एंड फ्रॉम एन इकोनॉमिस्ट. So expenditure is the proxy for income and borrowing. So the persons in bottom 10% have an expenditure of 50 to 100 per day. So now he's saying what kind of food a person can consume per day. So definitely this is not the point. पहले और भी बुरा हाल था. तो आपको यहाँ से क्रिटिकली उठाना है. 10% of population is not an insignificant number. 14 crore. So if they were a separate country, it will be ranked 10th in the world in terms of population. So नीति आयोग गवर्नमेंट से पुअर are only 5% or less. So अब आप उस तरीके से भाषा को मत वो कीजिए, हमें इसको दूसरी तरीके से देखना है. पर कैपिटा एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ द टॉप 5%, और उसके बाद फार्मर्स और फूड का भी जो डेटा है वो भी आप यहाँ से ले लीजिए. और जो अगर मान लीजिए कह रहे हैं कि पीएम किसान स्कीम इज रिडल विद होल्स एंड एनरोलमेंट वाज 10.47 करोड़, इट डिक्लाइन टू 8.1 करोड़, तो वो बात वो नहीं है. आप ये देखिए कि उसको आप जैसे कैसे कर सकते हैं. Tenant farmers, why they are not eligible? We have to give a logical reasoning. That is why government has not done it. और प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना की भी बात वही है. और the claims paid as proportion of gross premiums collected has declined from 87% to 56%. तो ठीक है. और ऐसी एमजी नरेगा की बात है, सोशल सिक्योरिटी और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की. तो यानी हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल है ये, आप कैसे कीवर्ड्स को लेकर आगे चल सकते हैं. वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट बैंक इंक्रीज फॉसिल फ्यूल फाइनेंसिंग in 2024. So definitely this is a contradiction. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, Mizuho Financial, Wells Fargo, they are providing for fossil fuel, whereas SBI targets net zero and it is advancing green. So this is a contradiction. So the trend is reversal, लेकिन हमें रोकना होगा क्योंकि climate change is visible, earth is heating up, resources are limited. So वही वाली कहानी है पूरी. तो आप इंडिया का देखोगे कि इसमें इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव से क्या हो रहा है. जीनियस एक्ट कीवर्ड आपको पूरा पता होना चाहिए. जीनियस एक्ट आपको उसका फुल फॉर्म पता होना चाहिए. और जीनियस एक्ट कैसे आप कह सकते हो कि द गाइडिंग एंड इस्टेब्लिशिंग नेशनल इनोवेशन फॉर यूएस स्टेबल कॉइन्स, ये एक्ट जो है यूएस सेनेट ने पास किया। द बिल सेट्स गार्ड रेल्स फॉर स्टेबल कॉइन्स विद प्रपोजल्स फॉर कंप्लायंस टू इंश्योर प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग। तो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग है, टेरर फाइनेंसिंग है, स्पेकुलेशन है, सेंट्रलाइज्ड मेन स्ट्रीम जो इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम है, जो अब सेंट्रल बैंक है, उनको टॉर्चर ना हो, उस पर्सपेक्टिव से आपको देखना है। तो और आपको ये भी देखना है कि क्या इंडिया, जैसे इंडिया में तो डिजिटल कॉइन की बात है, डिजिटल करेंसी तो है, लेकिन वी आर नॉट moving very forward with the idea of cryptocurrency and so forth. हमें कैसा स्टैंड लेना चाहिए? So crypto is actually one of the things that locks in dollar supremacy. That is what US thinks. So let's see how it is moving forward. We have to keep an eye. Direct tax receipts have not gone high. It is 1.4% till June 19. So that is why it is an example. Advanced tax collection is also rising by the modest one. It showcases that the investment and manufacturing and services, they are not moving as they must, but then this is just an indication. Direct tax receipts also dip, as I just said. So that means advanced taxpayers have to pay 15% of their annual income tax liability by June 15, 45% by 15, September 15, and 75% by December 15. So this is a kind of a structure which showcases the nation's progress and also other kind of elements. Government launches 2.3 crore challenge for startups. This is again a rooftop solar installation के लिए भी boost किया गया. So this innovation challenge aims to support breakthrough solutions for rooftop solar and distributed green energy ecosystem. It is being implemented under the aegis of MNRE, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and support is there with respect to NISC, and that NISC is National Institute of Solar Energy, and in coordination with the Startup India DPIIT. तो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आपको एग्जांपल लेना है कि कैसे इनोवेशन के साथ, अगर आप सेक्रेटरी अभी डीपीआईआईटी होते तो आप इसको कैसे पुटअप करते। सो रूफटॉप सोलर एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का एक चैलेंज है, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस भी उस पर की गई, और वाइड रेंज ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स इन ग्रीन टेक, आईओ, एआई, ब्लॉकचेन, कंस्ट्रक्शन, एनर्जी, हार्डवेयर, फिनटेक, वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, सब आ सकते हैं। सो दिस इज समथिंग अमेजिंग विच आर गोइंग टू गिव अस अ वे फॉरवर्ड। आप ऐसे और चार चीज सोचिए जिसमें आपको लगता है कि हमें स्टार्टअप करना चाहिए और हमें सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढने चाहिए। So recounting the brutalities of World War II, and this is also an era of conflict. The photograph is also shown here. How the heroics of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, they played a very, very important role. So this is an example that how these countries are, even before the World War II uh, uh, situation was created by the Western world. Even World War II was there. Even the World Camp, which we talk about, is also that about that. So uh, the key point is that INA, even if it was an army for good cause. We were not fighting for something, something what we can say vested interest. So the question is that India's great glory, India's self-fighting, India's way to rise for success, and India's way to rise for standing of itself. So it is a very good book which an article is talking about the role of INA, and also General Honorable General Temaya. He was also later a great glory. He was also understanding the complex situation, and the places that they are talking about, Burma, Brunei, Belsen, the German concentration camp, the Brahmaputra River, and other kind of the personal accounts are there, stories are there. So at the same time, India was suffering from Bengal famine, so it was not just within Bengal; it will be impacting all over India. And then when we speak about Vietnam, then Ho Chi Minh, and the role played by Russia, role played by Australia, and so forth. So this is just an example of how India and the end of World War II and the end of the British Empire, the situation was. So this is some 3-4 keywords definitely we can pick up from here. Wisdom in my kitchen is an example of how generational home cooking and keeping the simple kitchen with only few pot pans and spices can really make a difference. But is it feasible for all Indians? It is feasible for even not even half of Indians. It is a kind of a very one person successful thing. So in villages we are living one pot meals in the first 3 years already there. This is not something new, and there are elements of the same thing. So we have to see that how India is moving forward. So we have an enabling environment, we have home cooked food also, and so forth. So I think this is just an example. we can take up. So another example of animal wealth and affairs, so a tiger and the stray dog fell into a well in Kerala's Idukki district. So what did they say to each other? This is a very creative way of putting what is happening. So there are 4,000 tigers and 1.4 billion of humans, and they get on our case every time. So this is what this is a takeaway. So हमें एसेंस लेनी है, आपको मेंस लिखना है तो एसेंस समझिए तभी आप कर पाएंगे. People are the blueprints. So Suvir Saran again, he is talking about mundane things, talking about his own ideas. So it is also there are people who want to hear him. There are people who want to take an idea for examination. I don't think it is any thing which is much suitable. Treatment that is tailored just for you. So this is very, very important for the mains examination and even in prelims. Personalized medicine, gene editing. So we have to identify क्या हो सकता है, क्या कर सकते हैं, transformation होगा कैसे health care में. Individuals genetic, molecular and clinical profile, how it is going to help in diagnosis and help in gene editing refers to a set of technologies that allow scientists to modify an organism's DNA. So one of the most well-known gene editing techniques, छठ से आपको बोलना चाहिए CRISPR-Cas9, जो enable करती है precise alterations to specific genes. The technology has opened new avenues for treating genetic disorders by correcting mutations at their source only. So very important. कैसे काम करती है? This is also being explained here. So this is also very important. We must know that how it is going to work. In India, it is being used. So for example, a case of patient they are talking about non-small lung cancer. They did it, and there are ifs and buts also. That it is not successful everywhere, and everybody cannot afford it also. So ABC4A, retinopathy, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, age-related macular degeneration. So these all words, couple of words you must know. अदर जीन एडिटिंग टूल्स भी हमें पता होने चाहिए, ZFN और टैलेंस. पीटी के लिए तो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. And also futurely we have to see that how their method will be shaped and and how it is going to make sure. 41% Indians take up yoga. This is very, very important thing, and we must raise the level also. That is what. So how you can guard against hepatitis? So vaccines can help, precautions can help. Jaundice, yellowing of skin and eyes are often symptom of underlying liver dysfunction. तो हेपेटाइटिस वायरस उससे होता है. और food is very important, and basic lifestyle is very important. Even if you are preparing, then also a good lifestyle, healthy lifestyle is very important. That is also what we practice through our courses. That is also we also try, क्योंकि सिर्फ पढ़ने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. बचपन से आप पढ़ते आए हैं, आगे भी जीवन भर पढ़ते रहेंगे. पढ़ाई तो जीवन का आधार है और जीवन ही हमें सिखाता है, ऐसा सभी कहते हैं. यू कैन आस्क योर पेरेंट्स आल्सो. So thank you very much for being with us, and we will try to bring the best, concrete, maybe uncomfortable truths to you, so that we together can get success at Ansarkari.